Will you follow me? One last time. That sounded absolutely terrible.
Will you follow me? One last time.
Hobbit: The Battle of the Five Armies stars Martin Freeman, Ian McKellen, Lee Pace, Luke Evans, Christopher Lee, Richard Armitage, Benedict Cumberbatch, Hugo Weaving and Orlando Bloom. And if you're wondering, and it's directed by Peter Jackson, if you're wondering why I was actually looking down, it is because there's like a million outtakes and me trying to get this name right. I swear I go on Joseph Gordon-Levitt and stuff like that. Watch that because the outtakes will definitely come out for that. And what is there about The Hobbit, The Battle of the Five Armies? Well, it's the final film in the Hobbit franchise and possibly Middle-earth franchise. They don't really have the rights anymore. Which, honestly, it's really sad when you realise that this is finishing. But it finishes great, in a great fashion. It is fantastic, this final epic just battle. It is pretty much like a battle. It reminds me a lot of Return of the King, how like, the second half of it is just basically one battle after the other. And it's all just this massive finale. This is definitely one massive finale, just huge trilogy. As much as the trilogy is not as good, nowhere near as good as Lord of the Rings, it still is really, really good, and it keeps the well, the feeling of Lord of the Rings. The acting in this film is fantastic. Richard Armitage is fantastic. It's just as Thorn, who's sort of becoming more obsessed with the gold, which has been hinted throughout the entire series. And eventually you see it come out, despite the fact that you don't actually know that was going to happen, but he has started to become like that. And he's basically, everybody's coming towards Erebor, which, because Smaug's now gone, and, well, it's a lot of gold. I like the way I said that. Right. And basically we've got a massive battle. And it's a free-for-all kind of, sort of, it's just a massive battle, that's the easiest way to put it. And this is quite an emotionally impacting film. It basically gets a proper emotional reaction out of you that it's achieving. It's like Return of the King in that way. It gets you. And the special effects in this are really good, especially with Smaug. But one of the things that I did find rather irritating is I don't like how they've done the trolls. They're all, I wouldn't say the CGI is bad, it's the fact that the way they've modelled it, it looks incredibly fake, and it just, you don't buy it. You really don't buy it the way that they've modelled it, and it's really irritating. And obviously there's the annoying part about the orcs being all CGI, and everybody just flips out at that. And so do I. But what can you do? It's still a good film. As for Martin Freeman, who's obviously like the main character, he does really good. There's surprisingly less of him than you would expect, considering that the film is called The Hobbit and not Thorin or Gandalf the movie. Despite the fact that I probably would line up to see Gandalf the movie. Anyway, yeah, there's surprisingly less of him, but you still can tell that he's the main character, especially if you watch the previous two films. That's one thing I need to say, do not watch this film if you have not seen the last two, because this will make absolutely no sense. There's stuff coming from the first film, there's stuff coming from the second film, they're all just lining up straight into this film. They're coming from everywhere and just firing right into it. So there's be stuff, if you haven't seen the first film, there'll be parts from that you won't understand that's being brought up here, and the same with the second one. As for Luke Evans done really good. One thing I did find rather irritating is the character of Alfred. No, it's not Alfred out of Batman, otherwise I would have been happy. The guy that deceived the mayor of Lake Town in the second film, and he's given a lot more screen time. I'm not sure whether it's more for comical effect or just so you can hate this character even more, because right now I couldn't stand him. And I don't know whether they were shaming for that, but they kept on wasting way too much screen time on him, and it just didn't work for me. Thankfully there's not too much to the point in which you want to get up and just like, I really don't want to deal with the Alfred show. But it does get a bit irritating. And thankfully though it's sort of thrown to the side for thrown to the side so that you can get Thorin and Kaylee and all the other dwarfs and their stories, as well as Bilbo trying to stop this whole battle when it happens. There's a surprise actor that appears halfway through the film, which is just, it's glorious, especially if you like have any sort of relationship to Scotland. It's possibly the funniest thing you can get, and honestly, it's amazing. As for the battle sequences are really good, especially the end. The end battle sequences are fantastic. They're just everywhere. Well, yeah, they're everywhere throughout the film. It's like a massive battle, obviously. There's a film called Battle of the Five Armies where you expect rainbows and everything. That did not make any sense. It probably did. I don't know. Right. So yeah, the battle sequences are really good, and it's a big epic. Maybe a bit too much CGI, but I can forgive it. It's The Hobbit, and it's Peter Jackson epic battles, so it's fine. It's really good, and I would actually highly recommend this film. I'm actually going to give it a 10 out of 10. I'd highly recommend you go and see this film. As always, remember to like and subscribe, and I feel like asking you a question. What is your favourite film out of the Hobbit trilogy? Mine's is the third one, as I've just stated, but there you go. Alright, okay, I'm also going to do a spoiler review of the Hobbit trilogy, so look out for that as well.